Do, 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 do. Oh, hey guys. Good morning. We got a question from our customer the other day, and thanks for emailing us in and calling us and seeing what you'd like to talk about. So we tried to put this out yesterday, but couldn't. Something was wrong with our internet. It's like so cold everywhere. It's cold here. It's cold in the Midwest. It's just, I think it was too cold for the internet. So anyway, we came in this morning, give it a try. To address the question, a customer said he's interested in breaking up heavy clay soil, wants to hear all about it, how to fix it, what to do for it. And it's interesting because clay soil affects a large majority of the United States. Some of the most pristine soil areas can have patches of hardened clay or soil that crusts, topsoil that's very hard to till, it clods. So the common rule for breaking up heavy clay soil, I kind of have to go back to my farming roots. And the way to do that is break soil with a big hammer. That's a common agricultural trend. Break it up with a hammer. If this hammer doesn't work, get a bigger hammer. And if that doesn't work, get some tillage. And if that doesn't work, get a bigger tiller, dyno drive it, rotivate it, whatever. So we're just going to give you some examples on breaking up clay soil. So we just have a little container here, a black box, and we're just going to show you some good methods. So I'm just going to set it down right there, and I'm going to grab some clay soil. I got a good visual aid. I'm going to dump the clay soil in there. Look at those clods. It's all held together. And let me get some things set up. So we'll get this set up here. Okay, and if you're going to break up soil, you need to take all the proper precautions and things. So what I'm going to do first, I'm just going to get some safety glasses on here, because safety first. There we go. And then you never know. So in the shop, when we do a lot of shop, we got the trusty hard hat here. Okay, all right, and get my big hammer. Here we go. Okay, and this is a good way to break up the clay soil. And I see there's still some big particles. I'll try this bigger hammer, and you got that. Okay, so it's doing an okay job breaking it up. Got a good view there, and all right. So we broke up some of the hard clay soil, but you know what? We probably still can't plant anything in it. So anyway, let's try to do this the right way. Let me get rid of this here. Made a mess. All right. Let's get back to the clay soil here. Get my glasses back on so I can see. All right, let's get to the heart. Why is the soil hard like that? Why do we got to break it up? Well, clay soil is very beneficial. It's small particles. The nutrients in it are very small. They seem to compact and stick to each other. Sometimes when you make it wet, it just turns into, sticky. It sticks to your shovel and your shoes and your hands. But there's some benefit to that because the clay soil is like that. It's very nutrient dense sometimes, and it can hold a lot of nutrients and hold a lot of moisture. So let's take what we call disadvantages and let's turn that into an advantage. How are we going to loosen that up? Well, the customers that call in and ask us, we always tell them, boy, is there any way you can mulch your soil? Is there any way you can put a lot of organic matter into it, incorporate organic matter? One of the best things we can tell you is soil likes a blanket on top, and it likes to be left alone. And if you blanket your clay soil with a lot of organic matter or mulch or cover crops or something, over time that'll loosen up and get better because you'll be loosening up the soil particles as the organic matter works into it, and biology breaks that down, and it releases oxygen and gases and other nutrients and carbons, and we'll start loosening it up. I have a couple examples here to show you. Boy, one good thing we like to use is earthworm castings. And earthworm castings is a great addition to hard clay soil. Number one, it provides a lot of fungi and bacterial properties, and it's just kind of the not the fuel. It's kind of the storage tank. So if you can work in some castings and whatnot into your clay soil, that's a good storage tank for to make fuel. So boy, that's a beautiful, beautiful looking product right there. So Earthworm Castings is great to incorporate that in. And then we also have compost. I like compost or mulch. So there's some really good compost here as well. And this compost is made with a lot of leaves. It has some wood chips in there. A lot of people don't like to see the wood chips, but for heavy clay soil, it's not a bad thing because the wood chips take a long time to break down and add some other beneficial properties to soil. So if you mix these together, it makes a great mulch. It makes a great, topsoil. You can top dress with it, and you can layer this on a foot thick if you want in heavy clay soils. I mean, actually, really a foot thick if you want to. Let that sit for a while, work it all in, and it'll really help improve it. You get a lot of humates out of this, and organic acids, and a lot of carbon-based properties that'll help break up the clay. And we had a customer one time that was he wanted the perfect soil. He was so excited. He thought he made the perfect soil, and he telling me all about it. And he got these tests and these pictures of it. And oh God, it was beautiful, and it felt good, and it smelled good. And I'm like, oh boy, yeah, you put a lot of time into this. How long have you been working on creating this best soil? And he said, a couple years. And I said, a couple years? And he said, well, that's how long it took. And I said, what did it start with? And he had some clay, and he had some sand, and he did some compost, and he started all that, mixed it all up. And I said, oh yeah, let's plant some seeds. He's like, whoa, what are you talking about? I'm like, the soil is so good. Let's get some stuff growing. Man, I can't wait to plant some seeds. He's like, oh no, this soil isn't to grow anything in. I'm like, what are you talking about? He's like, this is the perfect soil. I don't want to mess it up by planting seeds. I'm just, oh my goodness. What are you going to do with it? Well, I want to capsule it up and eat it. And I'm like, capsule it up and eat it? What are you talking about? But he was serious. He's like, no, this is the key to good health. I've got the perfect blend of nutrients, the perfect, magnesium to calcium ratio. I've got the perfect carbon to nitrogen ratio. And my body needs this. I'm going to eat the soil. And I'm like, okay, that may have some merit, more power to you. So anyway, the moral of the story is, sometimes we get too far off on trying to create the best soil. Plants have a way of sorting a lot of our mistakes out, or a lot of nature's imbalances, or a lot of, things that we do to hurt our plants or hurt our garden. Nature's very forgiving, and it can overcome those things. So anyway, again, clay soil, organic matter, mulch, till it up, mix it up, add more mulch, add some castings, add some compost. I really like to use chopped leaves. I like to run over my leaves in the fall with the lawnmower and chop them into small pieces. And then I just rake them into my clay areas and just let that sit over the winter. I'm going to protect the soil from the sun by mulching it. I'm going to put a blanket on top when I'm not using it. When I'm ready to use it, blend that all in, and it seems to do a really nice job of loosening clay soil up, water penetration, even better movement of nutrients in the soil. So we appreciate the question. So we broke up some clay soil. We had some ideas on how to fix it and what to do with it. And keep emailing us or calling us, send us your questions, and we'll try to put your response on the next one. So until our next live feed, thanks for tuning in. This is kelforless.com, and we'll see you later.